This is a story about a young woman trying to get to London from a business meeting in Chicago on a cold winter's night to spend Christmas with her husband, the Thomas family, and their cat Mog. However, yellow cabs in the city are scarce, and a bad weather front is coming in. If she could not find a taxi in decent time, her whole Christmas time with her family could be in jeopardy. Little did she know that her story had played out previously, but with two gentlemen in San Francisco. Travis Kalanick and his friend, who on a cold San Francisco evening pondered how to get home from evening out enjoying themselves in a city that is known as a place you cannot get a cab. Kalanick joked with his friend that they should go out and purchase 10 Mercedes S-Class cars, hire 20 drivers, rent some parking space, and make it so that if you pressed a button, an S-Class would turn up. In 2009, Uber was born, as was its convenience app, which was made available on the Apple iPhone. Hey babe, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's not too bad. How's Chicago?
It's good. It's been a good day, but it's been cold.
Okay, how's your meetings?
Oh, they went really well.
Good,
They did.
good. Well, listen, I know you haven't got much time, and I know that you're struggling to get to the airport. But the Thomases and Mog the cat are really looking forward to having Christmas dinner with you, and the family's coming around. It's going to be a great time. I don't expect any mishaps. I think it's going to be fantastic, and you need to get that airport as quick as you can. And I see in the news today that the yellow cabs are on strike.
Yeah, well, that would explain why there was such a long line in front of my hotel.
Okay. So listen, how are you going to get to the airport?
Oh, I'm probably going to call an Uber. That's
Okay.
probably going to be the best.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I know a little bit about Uber. Okay, listen, you call an Uber, you get to the airport. If you have any problems at all, I'll speak to you en route, but just let me know if you have any issues, and I'll see you tomorrow in London.
Yeah, I'll text you when I get to the airport.
Okay, dress nice and warm, yeah?
I will.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Uber's mission is to go to every major city in the world and roll out an efficient, convenient, elegant transportation system. I like to think that Uber is creating a new way of getting around cities. First use case that matters in a city is going out. Maybe it's date night or maybe it's going out to the clubs with friends, but very quickly it starts to move into daytime use. You get used to pushing that button at night on Friday or Saturday, then you're stuck between meetings and you need to get somewhere. And it sort of works its way from the weekend into the weekday. That simplicity around not having to think about how I'm going to get from point A to point B is huge. In cities around the world, especially the major ones, you have a very stagnant transportation ecosystem. A lot of times they don't work. Bringing innovation to this world, which in many cases really hasn't been innovated on in decades, can really bring diversity to a system that hasn't seen a lot of that. Uber is everyone's private driver, and the drivers are the lifeblood of Uber. We're bringing that kind of experience to the masses.
I started with one car and right now I have several cars. I couldn't see myself managing 5, 6, 7 drivers without Uber. I would have to have a whole office, dispatcher, and now it's easy.
I set my hours around my kids' school. Once I take care of them, then I can schedule any day, anytime I want to work. The freedom is the big component of my decision to join Uber.
So much about cities is how you get around them. If you can bring real efficiency, real convenience, and real comfort to how you move around that city, you can change the way people live in that city.
Uber operate in a taxi industry that is worth an estimated $6 billion in the USA. A single license to operate can sell for $357,000 in Chicago and as much as $1 million in New York City. Uber founders Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp came up with an idea to act as a broker by matching riders to available drivers with a summons via a smartphone. Uber decided to contract with partners such as limousine companies or individuals who had their own vehicles. These partners take responsibilities for licensing, vehicle costs and maintenance, gasoline, auto insurance and storage, and in return, Uber trains the drivers on the software platform and pays them 8% of the fare. Uber is a data-driven company connecting people with reliable rides through the use of data and technology. Its mission is to go to every major city in the world and roll out an elegant, convenient transportation system. Its amazing success story incorporates over 400 employees, monthly revenue increases of 18%, and a recent investment by Google of $258 million. Uber operates in 300 cities, 56 countries, on 6 continents. Its paper valued at $40 billion and heading to $50 billion fast. Uber has grown at an amazing 300% since 2014. Wall Street Journal valued the company at $50 billion, making Uber, along with Facebook, the most valued venture-backed startup in history. The company was founded by Chairman Garrett Camp and CEO Travis Kalanick. Both gentlemen are optimists with an ever-increasing thirst to support and invest in startups. Garrett Camp is an entrepreneur advocate who has stumbled upon a web delivery platform with 25 million users, whilst Travis Kalanick founded RedSwoosh, another peer-to-peer file-sharing company similar to Uber. Other board members include CTO Thuan Pham, an avid ping-pong player and an MIT graduate, heads up a talented team of technology experts at Uber, and is constantly challenging the norm to help create the ever-better customer experience through technology. Active strategist and VP of Operations Ryan Graves previously worked for Foursquare and Social Dreamium before taxiing over to Uber to start up its operations with just 1 employee. General Counsel and keen tennis player Sally Yeo serves on a board including the Asian American Bar Association in San Francisco. Uber is currently located in 300 cities in 56 countries across the world. Whether you're traveling from Piccadilly Circus to central London, or Brooklyn in New York, or Chinatown in San Francisco, and even city centre Tokyo, Uber has a ride waiting for you. Uber believes that not having to think about how to get from A to B is essential to our everyday lives. Therefore, as they aggressively grow to each city, in each country that they operate in, they build upon their mission statement. Whether you're heading out for a date night on a cold, blistering winter's night, or out to a happy hour 4 blocks away, Uber offers that convenient service for reaching for your phone, tapping into the Uber app and ordering your door-to-door Uber service. Using ride-sharing has had an incredible impact across the USA. This is shown as Uber business spikes at bar closing times. Uber offers all customers an alternative to drinking and driving. This social responsibility is encouraged by organizations such as Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, which highlights that since Uber was introduced in California, crashes have decreased by 60 per month. That's 1,200 since July 2012. By acting as a broker, Uber are able to minimize its fixed costs. This competitive advantage results in a greater benefit from increases in customers because fixed costs don't need to increase to handle higher capacity. However, the company is limited to how many drivers it has on contract. This limited resource can be maximized by minimizing the downtime of its drivers. The efficient management of this limited resource benefits both drivers and riders who can use the software's tracking feature to see how their cars progress towards their pickup point. But as with all fairy tales, there's always those nasty negatives, and Uber receives its fair shares of bad publicity for drivers and customers that can have an adverse effect on business. Additionally, Uber has a business model that is easy to replicate. Therefore, Uber are expecting a lot of infiltration into the market by new startup companies such as Lyft and GetMe. But to keep ahead of its competitors, Uber is diversified into different areas such as delivery services, which it calls Uber Rush. Uber Business offers companies a chance to save up to 40% on a normal taxi fare, which can equate to $1,000 per employee per year. By growing this area of its business, it can partner companies to ensure their employees get from A to B safely and cost effectively. However, recent leaked reports posted by Bloomberg showed a bond term sheet equating to an assumed net revenue of $415 million and an operating loss of $470 million. Analysts suspect that these numbers relate to one single quarter's financial results, and if so, based on these numbers, its annual operating loss is close to $2 billion. It is worth noting that this snapshot may be an anomaly, and that these numbers may actually be Uber's revenue for an operating loss for the whole of 2014, which again does not present great numbers for a company that is growing at an exponential rate. Unaudited revenues for 2013 and 2014 show that Uber's net revenue grew substantially. However, it lost more than $56 million in 2013 and $160 million in the first half of 2014. A reason for this loss is no doubt attributed to a substantial global expansion, undercutting the city's existing incumbents to get a foothold into the marketplace. Even if the analysts and Wall Street journals are pessimistic about the company is expected to post $2 billion revenues by the end of 2015, based on knowledge of this year's financials performance. Uber may also face data security issues with the rise of internet hacking. Customer data is an important part of Uber's business model. Therefore, it is important to keep it safe. If its servers are hacked and information is stolen, this will no doubt be a large issue for Uber users. Via its unique app based on algorithms and partner Google Maps, Uber has a cost-effective, simple and easy distribution channel direct to its customers by storing data such as the customer's place of work, home and current location. Uber can pinpoint its closest driver to ensure rapid response once the app is activated. Utilizing this method not only saves Uber thousands but possibly millions of dollars in distribution costs, it also mines its data for future use. Uber has different products with different fee structures for different demographics. It has the Uber X, which is a better, faster and cheaper than a taxi, Uber Claim. It has no whistling, no waving and no crash needed. Uber Black has a private driver, it's on demand and it's high-end. Uber SUV has more space and more style. Uber Lux, fine cars with fine prices to match. It has also launched Uber Moto Paris, which is a bicycle motor service where Parisians can order a motorcycle to pick them up and drop them off at their locations. It also has Uber Rush delivery services where clients can pay for deliveries that they make only. It has real-time tracking. In London, they've just launched Uber Pool, where it is expected to save 25% on normal fares to clients. It has just launched its IHG Rewards with partner IHG, where app holders can request an Uber via an app and get reminders via IHG's own email service about the Uber service. Each new Uber member and IHG Club member will receive a free $20 ride and 2,000 IGH points to utilize in any of its IGH hotels. Additionally, in London, it has offered Uber Assist, where drivers train to help disabled passengers, and it has cars with wheelchair access. Uber's fares are very competitive with a structured pricing system for each of its market segments, as you can see from its UberX, Uber Plus and Uber Black graph. In comparison to general taxi fares across the USA, in graph 2, you can see that the average taxi fare in New York City is $15.50, whilst an Uber equivalent starts at $4.20 with mileage and time added onto the fare. As you can see from this international pricing chart, Uber operates in many countries across the world, in Houston, New York City, London and Auckland in the North Island of New Zealand. In Houston alone, the base price of a fare is $1 in comparison to London, which is $1.56 equivalent. Per mile, per minute, cancellation fees and service fees and minimum fare fees are very similar, apart from Houston has a service fee of $1.95. Competitively, Uber aim to infiltrate the market at competitive prices. Therefore, they structure their pricing to make sure that it is cheap and convenient in comparison to the incumbent yellow cabs, black cabs, or taxis across the world. As you can see from this international pricing chart, Uber operate in many cities across the world. They operate on their base fare, their per minute, per mile cancellation fee, service fees and minimum fare structure. As you can see, it's very competitive. Houston has a base fare of $1, whilst New York City, which has higher demand, which is $3. Houston has a service fee of $1.95, whilst no other country does on this chart. It does not have a cancellation fee, however, whilst other cities do. Notice New York City has a $10 cancellation fee due to, again, demand and the high percentage of cancellations. As you can see from this graph, which shows how UberX prices fare in comparison to Lyft, its competitor, both prices are very similar and competitive. However, UberX has a lower minimum fare. Uber utilizes its customers' data to help better its customers' door-to-door and driver experience. It carries out background checks, including driving and criminal history, that covers county, federal and multi-state databases on all drivers, and all customers can see the driver's pictures, name, license plate number and rating before they step into the Uber. No Uber vehicles predate the year 2000. Uber helps potential drivers and existing drivers find finance via Uber's financial partners, and all passengers are covered by end-to-end liability insurance. Uber offers a code of conduct so that everyone in the vehicle has a shared standard of respect, accountability and common courtesy. Safety is paramount with Uber operating a cashless transaction system. Drivers are rated by the customer and vice versa, with the customer having the ability to add anonymous comments. Drivers' feedback. One driver has mentioned, "After many years driving in Chicago taxi, I feel safer. There is transparency, and the customers are also respectful of me and my car because the customers care about their ratings. As a female driver in Stockholm, Sweden, with Uber, I finally feel safe in the car. I know who I am picking up. All the trips are stored in the client's account. I don't pick up any strangers from the street." Uber always surprises when launching into a new city. One day it may introduce itself in a fanfare of drums, cannons and fireworks with famous guests. The next day it may move into a city in stealth mode and operate a while there, generating huge demand once the word gets out. Uber's world-class marketing events team position the company so that when special days such as President's Day, Valentine's Day and even random Uber days, it offers its customers special promotions such as motorcades, roses and free rides respectively. In the recent side events in Paris, the very next day, Uber highlighted its Uber cabs on its app in the colours of France, in unity with the French people and people across the world. This type of free positive publicity cannot be quantified easily. Uber always aims for the experience where the customer walks away with the wow factor, and with this, its word of mouth exposure increases. Its business has expanded dramatically on word of mouth alone, proving its customers' experience is well ahead of its competitors.
Sweet dreams. Nikki and Debbie were dreaming about what Santa would bring them. Mr. Thomas was dreaming of a new bat. Mrs. Thomas was dreaming of something else. Finally, of course, we have Mog. Mog was not dreaming sweet dreams. Mog was having a nightmare.
Follow that cat. All clear, boss?
As the neighbours gathered, the fireman told everyone how Mog had saved the day.
She deserves a medal.
I think she'd rather have an egg.
But there was no egg for Mog. There was no Christmas at all. At least that's what they thought. But everyone else thought if the Thomases and Mog can't have a Christmas, they can share ours. So that's exactly what they all did.
There you go, Mog.
I would like to thank the sources I have received information from, including Uber itself, BusinessInsider.com, Gawker.com, Managerial Accounting by Hargreaves and Morse, Google.com, Lyft.com, Marketing Management by Cutler and Keller, Wikipedia, and I'd really like to reach out to Sainsbury's in the UK and say thank you for letting me use Mog the cat. And I'd also like to give a special thank you to my wife who helped me make this presentation from Chicago. Thank you.